Some people honor their pastors more than they honor their husbands, and that is such misplaced priority. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staying Married, brought to you by This Marriage Business Academy. My name is Ademorayo Akpara. I am your delectable host, and I'm super happy to welcome you in this episode. It really gives me great joy to be able to serve this way, to just share, out of the abundance of God's grace and knowledge, to shine the light. You remember that song that says, "This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine"? Don't worry, I sing. I'm just not going to sing today. So really, I'm truly honored, to be doing this, and just happy that you are here to listen. And thank you for all the feedback. It really is heartwarming, and it just encourages me to say, you know what? There are people that are waiting to hear what you've got to give. So thank you, and welcome to today's episode. So welcome again. On today's episode, we will be looking at the third A in this series of what to do to build our marriage construction. If you missed the first two episodes in this series, I really would advise that you please go back and listen to it, because it's a build up and it's really been interesting. We started with the very first one, which is acceptance, accept, and then assistance, assisting your spouse, and just being there as key elements and requirements that are necessary in building this, our marriage construction, and ensuring that we have something that lasts and, stands the test of time, and that we are staying married forever. That's our dream, not just to come in and go out. So today we'll be looking at the third A, and I'm really excited about this one. I trust that it would bless you as always. And the third A is adore or admire, and those words are really powerful words. Sometimes we never just pause to pay attention to what it really means, to adore or admire somebody. And, I'll show you in a bit how this ingredient, like you want to make a pot of soup, or like in this, our building construction, all the materials that we're using, they are ingredients here to building the structure that stands the test of time. Adoration and admiration, for your spouse, to say that, gosh, the light in your eyes just get me. But it's beyond physical things. So let's take a quick look at the meaning of the word. Honor is the word I want us to look at, and admiration and adoration really speaks to three things for me. That would be honor, love, and respect, in that order. Now, honor is such a, I'll say, misunderstood word, because it's not a one-sided thing. It's not at all. And honor is, let me just read out the meaning for you so you get what I'm saying. According to Merriam Dictionary, it says, honor is respect that is given to someone who is admired. Right? Now, I'll stick with that meaning. There's so many other meanings, but this one works for, what I'm trying to explain. Admiration and adoration. To say that there is just something about this person. You look up to them, you're like, you hold them in high esteem. And the truth is, honor is good on everybody. The way that, so I think the easiest example that I can give, that a lot of people can relate with, is the way you honor men of God. It's like, gosh, he's a man of God. You don't talk to him anyhow. You treat him like his word is with that kind of respect that you accord a man that we see that God uses. And now there's okay, so no, I'm not getting into that conversation, but true men of God, right? Honor is such a thing that is big for God, that you honor people not because they are just mere men, but for the grace that they carry, so, and not because they don't make mistakes or they don't have their shortcomings, right? But because there is just something extra, right? So you would honor the man of God because there is a grace upon his life, right? It's the same thing, so just carry that picture into this conversation and imagine that you are giving that kind of honor to your spouse, to your wife, to your husband. Can you just imagine it? I'm sure some people have never thought about it. Some people honor their pastors more than they honor their husbands, and that is such misplaced priority that your pastor, an external person, would have more honor with you than the one that God has given to you as your partner. And I'm not saying that do not honor men of God, but you owe it to yourself and God to honor your spouse, to really put them on that pedestal that nobody can talk to them anyhow. And I know how we fight. Somebody says a negative thing about your pastor and tries to throw a remark at you, will go after the person. So that is what is expected that you do for your spouse. Nobody must be able to open their mouth and say a negative word. Like, even if they have committed an offense, it's not their place. People must not feel comfortable to talk about your spouse in a negative manner behind or in your presence, right? So if you allow those things, it's a red flag. It's not a good thing at all. You want to honor your spouse. It's not to say that if they do something wrong, you don't correct them. For you and your spouse in your bedroom, in your inner sanctuary, but to the entire world, you carry your spouse in such a place of honor where, you've heard people say that his wife can never do anything wrong, or he never does anything wrong in his wife's eyes, and vice versa. People must know that they can't come and feed you information of wrongdoing and you will swallow the pill. Honor, and it's something that you deliberately do. It doesn't grow. You make the choice to honor somebody. You see them in this light. You have this understanding about who they are. And the honest truth is, if you come into understanding of who your spouse is and how God takes the union of marriage seriously, you will make the effort to honor your spouse and really, really carry them in that manner where nobody can, come to pull you down. Many times, because there is room and gap for external factors and external voices, where there is no such a grounded sense of honor that is available in a marital relationship, people then find easy access. So honor is really, really big on God's heart. Really, really big. Then we come to love and respect. But I like to take a scripture before I move on to love and respect, and it's in 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. Let me read it in New King James Version for you. 1 Peter 3, 7. It says, "Husbands, likewise, dwell with them with understanding, your wives in this case, giving honor to the wife as to the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers may not be hindered." Now, what's the point here? You know that, from where I come from, in Africa, there is a sense of honor that automatically comes with being a man, right? And the reason why the Bible is stressing it here is, husbands, dwell with your wives' understanding and give them honor. So it's not just for the man that honor is due, also for your wife. Because when a woman feels honored, and remember that the definition of honor is somebody that you admire, admiration, that, God, there's just this thing about this person. When a woman feels honored, she will go out of her way to give her best. Same thing for a man. And I'm going to come to that, because a man's honor ties very closely with a sense of ego and respect. But, I'm even dealing with honor as a very, very basic but critical, material in this construction matter, that you've got to honor your spouse. Find that one thing, and let me give you a trick in how to do this. So, I remember when I first got married, and one of my older egbons, from this part of the world, so anybody that is much older than you are within the same community is your egbon, even though he's not, blood related. And he was speaking to myself and my husband, and he said to him that, find one thing about your wife that no matter what the argument may be, when you think about this thing, it would give you joy, as in you would not have any other option than to laugh. You find that one thing that thrills you, that delights you about your wife. I'm like, wow, this is such wisdom. Because the truth is, there will be times in the course of your journey where you would have many, many reasons, to want to say, let me just give this guy a piece of my mind, or, let me just even deal with this girl. Let me show her. Really, it would amaze you. And if you've been married for more than 5 years, or even anything over 2 years, you will be able to relate with what I'm saying. That there will be times when you feel like, what is it? I need to show this girl. I need to give this guy a piece of my mind. You can't walk over me. And you just be shocked that I love this guy, and all the lovey-dovey lyrics, things that we used to say to ourselves, and poems, he would just fly out of the window at that point. Okay? So he said to us, find that one thing about your wife. He was speaking to my husband now, but I held on to it as well. He didn't even look at me and say, he just said, it's you that I'm going to say something to. Because women can easily get under our skin. Yeah, it's love, but that one thing that you will look at in her, that you admire about her, and it will just calm you down. Find that one thing. And so I'm sharing this trick with you. You find. So I also found that one thing about my husband, that when I think about everything and I'm like, oh God, I really, really, really admire this thing about this person. Some people have never thought about it, to say, what is the one thing that you admire about your spouse? So I'm putting that to you today. Put it in your journal. What one thing? If there are more, great. Write the things that you admire about your spouse and focus on them. The Bible says to us in Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8 that whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, pure, lovely, of good report, focus on these things. That's the way you build admiration. You focus on the good. You are not ignorant of the weaknesses, but you focus on the strengths. You focus on the good and build up such a large mass of admiration that there is nothing anybody that can come to say to you about your spouse that, the truth is they will be unable to come to say it to you. That works for me because they just know that they would not have audience with you. So honor is really, really big. The next thing is love and respect. And so yes, love is good. You want to feel love, we all want to feel loved and all of those things, but I didn't know and this has been widely proven, really, that a man's biggest need is the need to be respected. The need for you as a woman to feed his ego, to make him feel like a king. Do you understand? He is a king in his palace anyway. But you've got the role to build up his person, his mind as the king. So a man's big need, aside from sex, is that need for relevance, that ego, that yes, I'm the man, and it's not negative, egoistic showing in any way, but to just feel that sense of relevance. Yeah, I think that's that sense of relevance there. So a man needs respect. A woman needs love, and it's very biblical, it's scriptural. If you follow me to the book of Ephesians, when Paul was admonishing, he said to wives, respect your husband, submit to them. Submission is respect, that I respect you. I'm not being subservient. I'm not a doormat. No, I choose. And my definition of submission is strength under authority. That I'm strong in myself. I've got a voice. I'm bold, I'm strong, I'm created in the image of my Father. But I choose all of that strength and submit it to you as the man over me. That's submission. So I submit to you. I defer to you by choice. That's submission. But the Bible admonishes men, love your wives. Because a woman's need is a woman wants to feel loved. Affection. You said these things are very critical. Because the more that I feel loved, that I feel wanted as a woman, and who else should make me feel loved and wanted if not my husband? Yes, I know our men are, they don't have time for the emotional stuff and things, but please pay attention to these things because it matters a lot to us. I'm advocating for women now, right? It matters a lot to us that you want to feel loved, you want to feel wanted, you want to feel desired. A man wants to feel needed. I'm the man. So honor, love, and respect, which are three key ingredients under the pillar of admire or adore, is our third critical ingredient in this building project. I like that we really pay attention to these things because as little as they may sound, it goes a long way. So you want to ask yourself, perhaps you're a man or woman, listening to me today, that how am I showing honor to my wife? If you allow people say things to you about your spouse that are negative, you have not put her in that place of honor enough. Or you have not put him in that place of honor. Because guess what? When people know that you honor your husband so much, or you honor your wife, they will be unable to approach you to say things to you. If they try the first time and come to say, blah, 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 and you give them the right answer, I'm like, oh, really? Oh, thank you, but that is none of your business. Trust me, they will not come again. And what does that do for you? It protects the sanctity of your union. If there are any issues, you deal with it with yourselves in your room. And when you come out, you guys are fine. The world is not privy to your business. Because guess what? There isn't any perfect marriage. Everyone is on a journey, work in progress. There's some things that we have, overcome, we have conquered. And on another level that perhaps is still an issue for another couple. That's the way life is. You know that, okay, this one is under our belt. No, we've dealt with this one. If we see situations like this, no, it's not going to, shake us up. Something else may shake you up. It's a journey. We are on different spots across the map on the journey of our lives, and our journeys are different. So let no one make you feel like, oh, your marriage is the one that's got issues. You choose. And honor is something that you make the choice to give. These things are within your capability, within your locus of control. It's not outside. It's not extraneous to you. It's within your control. That I will honor my husband. I will honor my wife. And this thing that is said that the way you present yourself is the way the people accept you. Whatever you call yourself is what you're called. So if you say, no, my wife is honorable, my husband is honorable, this is the pedestal that I want him on. That is where they will put him for you. So that work lies with you, because you are building this marriage construction with your spouse. The third person in this equation is God, not any external person. So we focus on that and focus on what is within our control, right? I hope this has been a blessing to you, that indeed honor is both ways. A man needs to be honored. A woman also needs to be honored. And love and respect are critical things required for this marriage to be enjoyable. A man wants to feel needed. A man wants to be needed. A woman wants to be wanted. Right? It's just the way that we have been built. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. It's been a pleasure to bring it to you. I hope that this has blessed you in some way. Please feel free to write to me. Share concerns. If you have questions, I will be more than happy to answer them, pray with you as well. You can write to me at more@thismarriagebusiness.com.ng, or for general inquiries, for booking sessions, please write to us at talktous@thismarriagebusiness.com.ng. Do well to also follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. It's a delight and an honor to do this with you weekly. Stay blessed. Until next time. Bye for now.